All right, welcome to Eagle Pass, Texas, where the center of gravity for the southern border. And we're here live, our very first live stream. And I'm Barrett McNabb.
I'm Kimberly McNabb.
And welcome to Azimuth Podcast. We're so happy to see you. This has just been an amazing ride that we wanted to do and share with you to make sure that we were able to bring the border to you. Not everybody has an opportunity to come to Texas and experience all of this, but we wanted to make sure that we were able to bring the ground's honest truth, to you. And Kimberly?
Yeah, Barrett, tell them what's behind us.
Yeah, so behind us, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this around. And you can see that this was the migrant holding area, and we've got wire, we have DPS, which is the Texas Department of Public Safety. We have the Texas National Guard manning gates. So this is about as close as we can get. But if you could imagine, only 3 weeks ago, this was full of illegal immigrants. And you can see all of the trash that's left behind. This is the actual photograph of our thumbnail that we had for our live stream. And this is the bridge that everybody was underneath. And like I said, we have the border wall, and we'll take a closer example of this, but we have the actual official border wall that's protecting us. And then you have what's above us, a train area, and you can see that there's the border fence that comes along here. Here we have a train which goes back and forth over the U.S. border. And then here we have a bridge that connects, and it looks like mostly tractor trailer trucks are going over the bridge. And this is the United States side as vehicles and trucks are coming across to go through Border Patrol and Customs. And then right over there is Mexico as well.
And you'll see the train cars along the edge, and I've looked at other YouTube videos that were taken in the last month or two, and there were gaps, pretty wide gaps in between those train cars, but now you can probably see that there are no gaps anymore, and there's a lot more concertina wire than there are in other YouTube videos taken in the last month or two.
Yeah, exactly. As we get in closer, you can see the level of concertina wire, or razor wire as the press are calling it, are there, and you can see that they have kind of these chicanes that were corralling the illegal immigrants. But then you also have, again, the border wall, and we'll take a closer look at that in just a second. But when we look at the border bill that's been passed by the Senate, and it's gone to the House of Representatives, and it's looking like it's going to be dead on arrival.
Well, that one was dead on the arrival, and they called it the security bill, the border bill, which is just a name only. Most of the funding would have gone to Ukraine, and then the Congress started speaking out of both sides of its mouth, like, oh yeah, we're going to fund Israel and their Iron Dome, which all for. But then on the flip side, they'd send more funding to and aid to Gaza, which, come on, let's be realistic, most of Hamas would get. So you're funding both sides of that one, or you would want to fund both sides of that one. And then also they say, oh, we're going to give Border Patrol more aid. Well, no, if you read the details of what would have been in that bill, you would have given money to NGOs who actually help, give instructions, food parcels, caravans to illegal immigrants, and then also give more manpower to Border Patrol. So also fighting both sides. It's like they want to look good to everybody. And the reason why the Democrats wanted that so much was if it had gone through, Republicans had voted for it, and then things still stay the same, they can blame it on Republicans, like, you guys voted for this. And then on the flip side, Republicans didn't vote for it. Well, we tried to do something, but Republicans, those mean old Republicans, didn't. That's because it wasn't a real border bill.
Yeah,
it's a name only, and so now they fixed, well, they Now they've redone it and had basically the same stuff, but without any border stuff.
Right.
So definitely can't call it a border bill anymore.
I definitely would have to say that they had a number of poison pills in there, and to your point, Kimberly, you know, it was one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the Republicans don't vote for it, they're like, well, you just don't have any
You
vision.
don't really care.
You don't
You're
really
just
care.
talking. You're just making talking points.
But if you do vote for it and something goes wrong, then
Which it would have.
the Democrats get to blame the Republicans. Now let's talk about what was going on in there. So we're having a large number of interactions per day. Right now in January, there were 7,000 interactions per day, and you know, it was a lot of the mainstream media were saying, well, look, you know, that's down from December. But if you look at what January was last year,
still the highest January.
Still
on
the
record.
highest January on record. So I mean, you can't compare apples to oranges on that.
Well, also, you know, you may think and look behind us and think, well, I don't see any immigrants. Well, first of all, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
I mean, come on, even the cartels are like, we're going to wait till night. But, you know, also you have all this media attention with Elon Musk coming to the border, members of Congress coming, Ben Shapiro coming, the convoy that came a couple weeks ago. So, of course, you know, you shine a light, things scatter, you know, and so now increased numbers are being reported in Arizona and California. So
right.
The cartel is not stupid. They're just shifting.
They're not stupid. I mean, there's obviously been a big spotlight in this area, and so even 20 miles to the north in Del Rio, they're seeing an uptick. And to Kimberly, your point, Arizona and California is where everybody's being shifted to. Now, one of the interesting things about this bill is it has a lot of numbers in there, and if you read it, it has an opportunity to have, if there are 4,000 illegal crossings a day, the Secretary of Homeland Security is authorized to start closing down the border. If there are 5,000 or more a day in a 7-day period, then averaging, then the Secretary of Homeland Security is required to shut down the border. However, here's where the poison pill is. The President of the United States can waive that requirement. And so they, even though a mandatory closing of the border would happen, the President can override that.
Yeah, and given the last 3.5 years, I mean, come on, he overrode all of Trump's border policies day one. So what do you think he's going to do? I mean, it's just totally disingenuous. Thank God that border bill, so-called border bill, didn't pass, and they've amended it, cut out the so-called border part, you know, for the foreign stuff.
Now, Kimberly, talk about even worse than this, that there were actually quotas per day that the Secretary of Homeland Security could even close down the border.
Well, still allow 1,400 a day through the ports of entry. We're just talking about the non-ports of entry. So, and they know how many people are coming because the security, I mean, the technology is there. There are cameras everywhere. It's just manpower. That's the issue. Right,
and I think there were certain days that the border could be closed, and so I think it was 270 days in year one.
Yeah. So even if that bill with the border stuff had passed, it would have limited the number of days that the limit was capped at to 275 in year one, and then year two it was 225, and year three it was 180. But still, that's just the people not going through the ports of entry.
Right, and so I mean, you know, not only can the president suspend it, which I'm sure President Biden would do immediately if he's reelected. It would just be back to the status quo. But this really just seemed like it was a Democrat way to increase Biden's poll numbers to show that, hey, look, we tried to put something on the table, even though this is not really going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So very disingenuous. And this is why it's important to pay attention to more than just talking points on CNN, because people are lying to you. Members of Congress and President Biden, they're gaslighting you. They're calling you stupid. And
right.
If you really want to know what's going on, you have to pay attention, because they're not going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. Well, okay, let's see if we can flip this around and get a little bit better view of the area. So right now, obviously, we're on a major thoroughfare. A lot of trucks that are coming back and forth. It's an industrial park. But again, we're going to try and get around this and see if we can get a good view. Obviously, we don't want to anger the Texas National Guard or the Department of Public Safety.
Yeah, if you see a white truck or a white van with a green stripe, that is
Border Patrol.
Yeah, Border Patrol.
Yep. So we're going to flip this around, and I'm going to take it down this way.
Yeah, we'll see the iconic.
Yeah. So as we're walking, you can see the Texas National Guard is patrolling down here. Obviously, we want to get as close as we can without interfering with any of their duties and activities. This looks to be about as close as we can get. But yeah, you can see all the trash that was left by the illegal immigrants when they came in.
And this is after a month or so.
Yeah, this is after about a month. And you can see all of the housing area. The main photograph that we had was of the migrants in rows, but you can definitely see all the discarded trash and clothes and things like that. And we can see the Texas National Guard and Department of Public Safety that are here. Here's this infamous razor wire that they're talking about. And you know, in the Army we call it concertina wire. But yeah, you can definitely see all of the trash, all of the stuff that's been left behind. But yeah, so just if you came in late on the live stream, this bridge, that's Mexico over there. And then this bridge is where all the commercial vehicles are coming, and they are going into the United States side. This is a train trek where train cargo can go back and forth over this bridge. And then you can see the shipping containers that are out there, and they have completely closed the gap of the area. Interestingly enough, you can see a golfer right there. There's a golf course that is adjacent to the park. Shelby Park is further away. This is the area where the migrant holding. So you know, all of this stuff has been closed off by the Texas National Guard. They're not letting the Border Patrol in, and that's obviously been that point of contention with Governor Abbott and President Biden. So we'll come back here and we'll see if we can just kind of stay here as we film so that you can see both things in the background. But I mean, this is just absolutely amazing that we're seeing this in the United States. I mean, obviously, having sanctuary cities and people that are giving freebies, like New York is giving debit cards to illegal immigrants. That not only they're giving 3-star housing and 3-star hotels, but now they're getting free cards as long as they're used for food.
They have to pinky swear. That's what they'll use them for. But, you know, it's like, you know, you leave out sugar at a picnic, the ants are going to come. And I hate to, you know, put it out that way. But, you know, like, okay, say you have 2 parties at the same night to go to. But you know one person's going to serve the better booze, the better chips and salsa. Which party are you going to go to? I mean, come on. So, of course, people want to go where they're going to get the most stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just the biggest problem in with sanctuary cities saying, look, we want to be a sanctuary city, and then all of a sudden when it happens, when you run your mouth...
You wonder why too many people came to your party. Huh.
Sometimes you get punched in it. And ultimately, that's one of the big problems, is that we are rewarding people to break the law. And that is sad.
And that's another issue I had with the so-called border bill that wasn't passed. It's like Congress would have actively been given the okay for illegal immigrants. Like, aren't we supposed to uphold the law?
Right.
We're not supposed to okay it. It's like letting your kids jump on the bed even though you told them 1,000 times, don't jump on the bed.
Right. I mean, it's just, it's sad that it's come to this. We have, and we've said this many, many times on our program, there's obviously nobody has a problem with legal immigration. The United States needs more immigrants in order to increase our labor pool. It's necessary. But there are people who are waiting in line for years in order to come to the United States, and it seems as though if you break the law, then you get put up at the head of the line, and you're in the United States for 10 years.
Yeah, and people like to say, oh, but these people that are coming across illegally, they're just looking for a better life, and it's under this guise of empathy and compassion. Well, where's the compassion for those who have been attacked? You see plenty of footage in New York of people getting attacked by these illegal immigrants that are there now. The cop that was beaten up by several illegal immigrants. Where's the empathy and compassion for those people that are victimized by these criminals? Where is the compassion for people whose loved ones were shot? Like Katie Steinle, I know that's been a number of years, but it still happens. Where is the compassion and empathy for the family members of who had loved ones die of fentanyl? I had a cousin 10 years ago die of fentanyl. So give me a break. And the compassion for those who have been trying to do the right thing for years, trying to get into the United States the right way. I mean, sometimes they have to spend money on, like blood tests to make sure they're not bringing diseases. We know nothing about these people. They could be bringing diseases, and it's not to be mean, it's just other countries don't have the vaccinations for, polio and measles, mumps, rubella like we do. We don't know.
Right, and that's an excellent point, Kimberly. One of the problems that I have is that there are ports of entry where you can come across and declare the fact that you're having you're a refugee and things like that. There are ports of entry to do that legally. The problem that we have are the people that try and sneak across get caught, and then they try and claim asylum due to being a refugee, and they'll be killed and things like that. And that's kind of the problem that I have, is that going to a legal port of entry is so easy. The reason all these barriers exist, it's to funnel these people into the legal ports of entry where they can be processed. But we don't even know how many people just slip by and do not have a contact situation with the Border Patrol. I mean, that's what's truly a problem. Also, we're no longer seeing, a lot of times people are saying, oh, this is racist, it's anti-Latino. Well, we're not seeing Hispanics coming across the border as much anymore. It's military-age Chinese males that are single. It's people from Eastern Europe that are single. It's people from Africa that are single. And we're looking at
military-age, fighting-shape men.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not families that are looking for a better. Now, are there people that come across with families? Of course, yes. There is. But the recent uptick is showing that that's not the case. We got a fan. All right. So like we promised, we're going to go ahead and show you the actual physical border wall. That's more hardened than the concertina wire, and we're just going to take a quick look to make sure that we can move safely. So we can. Looks like we're good to go, and get to the side of the road a little safely. Just making sure there aren't any cars behind us.
Yeah, mostly 18-wheelers.
Yeah. But again, we really appreciate you guys coming on this live stream with us because it's super important to talk about these things. The biggest problem is when the mainstream media just says that there's not a problem. And obviously that's not true. And even the Biden administration, President Biden himself has finally admitted that there's a problem. And it's important to talk about this, because if you don't talk about it and recognize that you have the problem, then it's never going to get solved. So we're going to go ahead and flip this around. I think all right, here we go. So this is
iconic border wall.
Yeah, so this is that razor wire, concertina wire that everybody talks about. But this is the straight up hardened wall. And Kimberly, can you go stand by it so we can get a size comparison?
That's funny.
All right. So this is, the actual hardened border wall that's really difficult to climb. You can see how tall it is for Kimberly. Obviously, if you climbed up there and then tried to come down and you fall, you're definitely going to hurt yourself.
Well,
and we have been seeing,
hopefully I get shot first.
Right. And we have been seeing a huge uptick in people with knee and ankle and hip injuries at the local medical clinics, and they're taking up valuable resources because they're jumping over the wall rather than going to the legal port of entry, which is right over there. And you can see every once in a while you'll see somebody walking on the pedestrian path back and forth. So you can do that. This is
about how wide, in between the bars. I've always wondered that.
Right.
Spacing between the bars. So yeah,
yeah,
no one's sliding no adults sliding through there.
Yeah, there's no toddlers that are going to slide through there. And the thing is when you get up to the top, you can see the diamond shape up at the top. And what that's to prevent, as you come over, you can't slide down. It's not like it's a pole. This is a diamond shape, so you actually physically can't hold on to this. It's not going to let you hold on like a pole and you can wrap your legs around it. First of all, you probably couldn't get your foot through there. It probably wouldn't fit, so you wouldn't be able to wrap your legs and arms and kind of lower yourself. So you're trying to grab onto this, and like I said, it's a diamond shape, and with it being that diamond shape, it's just not going to let you hold on to it. All right, so we'll come back around to us. All right. So yeah, we're going to be heading to Del Rio next and get some footage. We're going to walk around Eagle Pass. It's a quaint little town.
Yeah,
it's a quaint little town. They got a lot of old shops and old stores, and it's really cool. So we're going to go ahead and close down the So we're going to be signing off, and thanks so much for being on our first live stream.